Hey everyone, welcome back to MetalDisciple.com's 365 Days of Metal. My name is George and this is day 275. Today I bring you the latest from a band that broke up and went dormant for a number of years. They're back now though, and with a vengeance. This is Carcass and their sixth album, Surgical Steel. I wasn't sure what to expect when I heard Carcass was reforming. Who's in the band now? What will they sound like? Would this be a triumphant return or just the beating of a dead horse? Well, in terms of personnel, only half of the Heartwork era lineup has returned. Jeff Walker and Bill Steer are on board with 2 new members. This is a little disappointing, but what can you do? Ken Owen isn't physically able to play drums anymore, so, I can get by with this lineup. The band's previously final album was called Swan Song, and many fans absolutely hated it. The songs were drastically different than on past albums, taking on a more death and roll style. Personally, I liked the album, but yes, it was very different. So, would Surgical Steel take after Heartwork or Swan Song? Listening to the album, I feel like it kind of samples from both. I think it is ultimately heavier than Swan Song, but perhaps a little less brutal than Heartwork. The fact that their last album was 17 years ago means that production quality is kind of hard to use as a factor for judging it, because recordings today sound so much better. I thought Heartwork was a great album, but it sounded a little muddy. Surgical Steel's production sounds great, and which, if you were so inclined to, you could use that as an example of them selling out. I don't think so, though. Ultimately, I'm glad to have Carcass back. I think Surgical Steel is a great album. Check out today's playlist to hear some tracks from the new album. I'll be back tomorrow with more metal. See you then.